the people in the area wanted to keep some of the wildlife, keep some of the country atmosphere to Eagle
Let's,
Mountain Lake.
if I can, let's start over.
Yeah.
Just found out that our audio was shut off, but it's on now. We are on now, right? Okay. So again, I'm sorry. Cary Lewis here with us in the studio tonight on Texas Wild Adventures from the Water to the Campfire to tell us about who he is, why he does what he does, and who he is with, which is the Save Eagle Mountain Lake Foundation, who has been instrumental in preventing economic and ecological disasters from befalling our beautiful lake. Cary, tell us a little bit about Eagle Mountain Lake Foundation.
Well, Save Eagle Mountain Lake was created back in 1985 when a group of local citizens, local residents had gotten together to prevent a sewage treatment plant from being put on the lake. It was something that they were successful. They created a moratorium.
That's still in place
That
today,
is
isn't it?
still in place today.
All right. And tell us about this proposed bridge idea that never came to fruition.
Well, the organization played a good part in that. I think it was the Bridge 170. I think that's what they called it. That was going to cut across the north end of the lake. And it was opposed by a lot of the residents. And Save Eagle Mountain Lake joined in the opposition, and it was shut down.
There's a bridge going across Lake Worth now, isn't there? Over by the old Jacksboro Highway Bridge.
Not familiar.
Yeah, it's a huge one going across, big high-rise bridge. And that can be both a boon to the area wildlife in terms of giving them artificial shelter, but it can also be harmful. Tell us about that.
Well, I'm not an environmental specialist.
You're not an environmental guy. Okay, fair enough. But obviously we know how waste treatment plants can negatively impact the lake in a crappy way.
Yeah, that would have literally been crappy.
I, for one, am glad that it didn't happen.
Yeah, and that was something that the organization had continued on. And then, like I said, they were instrumental in the creation of Eagle Mountain Park, trying to prevent that area from being developed by real estate developers, maintaining some of the wildlife around the lake. And the organization has continued on since then.
Tell us a little bit about Eagle Mountain Park and about the planned developments coming for that. You mentioned something yesterday about potentially putting a stage there for a music venue.
Oh, well, that's just that's everybody's full of ideas.
That's a great idea.
Yeah, it is. And most lakes have that sort of facility. You know,
right. Like Panther Island Pavilion has one going now.
Yeah. And
I'm not floating that river, though.
Yeah.
There's no way.
But it's great to have an area that people could access, you know, that don't have boats, but still want to come to the lake. And I think that Eagle Mountain Park would be a great place to do that. TRWD is now taking suggestions from the public for ideas to develop Eagle Mountain Lake, whether it's boating and recreation or facilities. Panther Island, they're still working on. So we're pushing for some of the money to come towards Eagle Mountain Lake, and hopefully we can talk somebody into developing more of the park area to include that picnic area.
That sounds like a fantastic idea.
It would be a blast, because that is the perfect area for it, because there's not really that many houses that are so close to it that it's going to be the problems with the noise pollution.
I'm sorry, go ahead.
No, I'm just saying that was always one of the problems with the old Ranch House Slough there, Party Cove.
Yeah,
was that in that area you can go there, you can be away from bothering all the other residents,
general
in the
civilization
area for the most time. And because when you get all those radios, those stereos cranking on those boats, noise carries across the lake a lot further.
Oh, we can hear it all at West Bay.
Yeah. And so it's not as there's no homes that are right up on it. So to me, doing something like that at the park would be a great addition to Eagle Mountain Lake.
What if we could put on a party on the island and turn the island into the new Family Cove, where, I mean, there's plenty of room, plenty of water line for everybody to tie up and tie out. There's a covered pavilion for the band. There's picnic tables. There's fire rings. There's camping, hammock trees.
You know, and they're all great ideas and things that people would love. The problem that you have is there's always that small group. It's always that small amount of people that abuse it
Right.
and make it rough for everyone else.
Right.
You know, you have the people that don't know when to stop. You know, the party keeps going.
Yep.
You know, and that's when you start having local community, TRWD being like, it's just easier that we just don't do that.
Shut it down.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, we could have a band play and then attract a few people and then let the band go, and then whoever leaves. Whoever wants to stay and make a night of it.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, like I said, right now, it's all on the table. There's a there's a place that you can go on TRWD's website where you can answer a survey, and you can even type in the information that you want about what you suggest to be in that area. They've hired a group of professionals. I don't know what they do, planners. And right now they've been holding meetings. You can go talk to them in person, or you can just go online and put all your suggestions in there. And it's stuff that they're considering. Supposed to be a large budget for it. Trying to decide where they want to put this money towards. Well, there's, like I said, hopefully Eagle Mountain Lake, hopefully we get quite a bit of it. That's what we're pushing for. But you know, Panther Island is still taking a lot of those resources.
Oh yeah, and that's been a long project too. Like that's been going for a long time, and there seems to have been a lot of foot dragging about who to talk to, how to get it done, when the thing's going to be allocated.
Yeah,
it seems like it's just taking freaking forever.
Well, there's a lot of politics involved with that.
Oh, I'm sure.
And there has, I'm not tied to it in any way, so I don't have any firsthand information about it. It's just you hear all the stories.
Do you know anything about the homeless houseboat?
The homeless houseboat? Was that white and blue and orange?
The eyesore that was tied up in Party Cove for so long?
Yeah, I do.
Tell me about that. How did it wind up there, and how did it wind up gone?
Well, we actually hosted we hosted a DJ on that boat in 2013 for the tie-up.
Really?
Yeah, a buddy of mine, Dusty Gregg.
What a fall from grace.
That was his boat, and of course, matter of fact, even before that, I had seen the boat at I think it was at Lake Country.
I remember seeing it there too.
And so I had gone to look at it, met the guy there, and I'm looking through it like, oh, this is too much work. This is not my cup of tea.
Right.
Well, not long after that, Dusty Gregg bought it. Well, that is his cup of tea. I mean, as he has the expertise to put on, he built the entire boat out.
Right.
And so 2013, we did the tie-up. And
how was it?
It was fantastic. Matter of fact, that picture I showed you with the guy on the water jet thing.
Yeah.
That was 2013. That was that year that we did that. And later on, he had Boondocks. He sold off after they got out of Boondocks. He sold the boat to a guy, or partial trade. I don't know. But the guy had it, and he wasn't a local resident. I'm not sure what the transition was at that point, but at some point, I think the boat was just abandoned.
Just pushed
How
out.
it got to where it ended up, I don't know.
Huh.
But I remember one day seeing a post online on Facebook and looking at that boat, and people were talking about the homeless boat. And I thought,
the homeless houseboat.
Yeah. I'm like, I know that boat.
Hey, I've seen that before.
Yeah. Yeah. At one point, it was pretty nice. So I don't.
How did they get it out? What did they do to remove it? I've heard what they did, but I can't remember, and I don't remember where it went either.
I can't tell you that. I don't know.
I think somebody said they dragged it up on land back there somewhere, but I don't remember where it went or who hauled it out. Or I know Trey knows something, but I can't remember.
Sure, well, Trey knows everything there is to know about it.
Trey, I don't know if you're still listening or not, but if you are, please feel free to call in. The studio number is 817-637-2585. Give us a call and tell us what you know, if you would, please. So if the Save Eagle Mountain Lake Foundation had a cut and dried mission statement, what would you say that is? What is their ultimate goal?
Preserve and protect the ecological environment and quality of Eagle Mountain Lake and its watershed by promoting community awareness, engagement, and advocacy.
Right on. That's exactly the answer I was looking for.
That's it.
Tell me about some of the other events that you have coming up or that you've done in the past, you've hosted or been involved with in the past that have led to that mission statement, that have spoken directly to it.
Well, a lot of it is crazy enough. A lot of it's not directly towards that mission because we have to always keep people engaged,
Mm-hmm.
and part of that is we do the parade of lights every year.
Tell me about the parade of lights. I love being involved with that.
Yeah, it's fun. When I first got with the organization, I hadn't even heard about it. A guy had come to us one year and was like, "When are y'all going to do the parade of lights again?" So we started asking about it and said, "Well, the problem with that is, we just don't have the people."
Let me interrupt you
do
for
it.
just a moment. We're having a station call right
Go
now.
ahead.
You're live on the air with Water to the Campfire with Ryan Prigmore. Who do we have?
This is Trey.
Oh my goodness. Hello, Trey. How are
Trey.
you?
Doing fine.
Well, it looks like we're going to do a remote segment tonight with Trey Bull, another episode of Shooting the Bull with Trey Bull. All right, tell us the story of the homeless houseboat, Trey.
Okay, the homeless houseboat. It was at Lake Country, like you said, and it was there, and it had been passed around 2 or 3 times since Dusty Gregg owned it.
2 or 3 times
And-
since Dusty had it.
Yes.
So all
2 or
that work
3
he put
times.
into it was pretty well abused by the time it wound up homeless, huh?
Right, and
What a shame.
a title was never given to those 2 or 3 people, and it ended up with at the end a person by the name of Mike had it. He was evicted from the marina, and I don't know the circumstances, but he had called me looking for a transport to transport that boat to Louisville.
When it still had a home?
Yes,
Okay.
he was like, he had to leave. I mean, he had to get out of there within a day. The marina was really hot on him.
Had the boat become a liability for some reason?
Well, no, not exactly. I just think the company that he held down there was a liability
I
to
see.
the residents and the tenants.
The overall
around
well-being of the culture
And
surrounding
so-
Lake Country.
They used their lease power, or he clause in the lease to terminate his lease. And here's where it starts. Here's where the fun starts.
My favorite part.
Of course, he didn't have the money to move it,
Okay.
and he had to get out of the marina, or they were going to bolt it in.
Chain it up to
welded
the
in.
dock, right? Something.
Yes, and so he went on the run. The houseboat went on the run.
It did run, right?
Yeah.
For a minute.
Well, yes, it had one engine barely running on it, and I believe they had another little inboard outboard towing it around also. So it kept moving. It was kind of over there, near Paul Rule's house out there in the back. Then it moved over towards Eagle Mountain Marina, and I think people complained there. Then it moved up there near Pelican Island, and it kept trying to hide in all the sloughs there at Eagle Mountain.
When you say it was moving, it was somebody moving it, or is
Yeah.
it's just out there
Somebody
floating?
dragging it
Yeah,
around.
I think it was the owner.
Tell
the
us-
owner was just
Just for a
the-
second, Trey, tell us a little bit about the boat, like so that the listeners can get an idea for how massive this thing was. Tell us a little bit about the size, the beam, etc.
It was a 50-foot aluminum houseboat, late 70s model. I believe it's a Seamaster is the brand on it.
A
But
big
yeah, 50
freaking
feet.
boat, in other words.
And yes, Dusty Gregg, he had outfitted, refitted that boat, and well, by the time he sold Boondocks, that's when he sold the boat to the first guy.
That's right.
So it was quite a massive boat.
Yeah,
To
huge,
begin
freaking
with.
huge.
And it had somewhere along that way it sunk too, but they saved it, obviously got it back up. Then it was at Lake Country until it was on the move
Until it
around the
wasn't.
lake. But it ended up, yes, there in Party Cove. The feller, he kept going through the park to get on the boat and out.
That's a long
and
hike
back and
from the
forth.
parking lot down to the water.
Yeah, and finally TRWD got
That's some
real tired
dedication.
of it. They told him to move it. He didn't. So they drug it up on shore into the woods. And the last I heard, it may be up there somewhere in the woods
No
on the
kidding.
north
Still there.
side of Party Cove.
Out behind the game warden shack?
Somewhere around there, yes. If you go down the trails there in the park, you might run across it.
Ladies and gentlemen, I think we might have a new treasure hunt to undertake on Eagle Mountain Lake. I don't know about y'all, but I'm intrigued. There was a rumor going around at one point that whoever the owner was of that boat was found dead on board. Is that true?
I didn't hear that.
I heard that,
No,
but
I
I don't
didn't.
remember who I heard it
But-
from or where it came from.
Yeah, I've not heard that either.
I also he had a kayak and a paddle boat tied up to the side of the boat, didn't he? Where he was using that to go to and from like various ship stores like at Lakeview and West Bay to get stuff, like to
Correct.
resupply.
Correct. Yes. He kept, another boat to get on and off the boat.
And I think there was somebody
Exactly.
that was making deliveries for him too at one time.
I've heard that too.
Yeah.
Definitely. So, yeah, I kind of miss that old eyesore out there.
I'll be honest, I don't miss it, but it was an intriguing story, and I thank you for taking the time to call in and tell us all about it.
Okay, no problem. I'll let you get back on, and good luck, Cary. Good to see
Thanks,
ya.
Trey.
Thank you, Trey. Appreciate your call, buddy.
Okay.
Call back
thank you.
anytime.
Bye-
Save this number.
All right.
All right. Bye bye.
Bye bye.
Okay, yeah, now I'm ready to go do some hiking through the.
Yeah. How interesting is
park.
that?
Yeah, I thought it was gone.
I did too. I kind of want to get a little piece of it just to like put on my wall.
Yeah. Well, it was good old boat there for a while.
For a little while
yeah.
until it wasn't.
Yeah, the only problem with that boat was always the generator. It was so loud. Oh my gosh.
That
it was
bad, huh?
So loud, yeah. That was when Dusty had it. That's the only thing I remember about that boat.
All right, where were we just before Trey called? We were talking about the Save Eagle Mountain Lake Foundation and some of the events that you've been involved in.
Parade of Lights.
Parade of Lights, that's it.
What it was, yeah. So anyway, the Parade of Lights came back up. There was actually came from a group of people who wanted to see it again.
Mm-hmm.
And so they came back to us, and we're like, yeah.
Wait, there was a year you didn't do it, or what?
There were several years, because when I got there with the organization, we weren't doing that.
Mm-hmm.
And I didn't know it had been done before. I don't know how many years it went where it was not being done. I don't know if somebody else had done it before. I really don't know. I just know that one year, maybe it was Jason Dyer. I don't remember, but somebody had come to us and was like, "Hey, we want to do the boat parade again."
Mm-hmm.
And so we thought, yeah, let's take that up. And it's grown every year. The past several years have been fantastic. We've got a lot of people involved. Our past president, Don Sanderson, just really did a fantastic job.
Tell me a little bit
that.
about the Parade of Lights. Like, what is it, so everybody knows exactly what you're referring to?
Well, it's a boat parade.
Boat parade.
Yeah, it's on the water.
Goes across the entire water line, right?
Yeah, for the most part, the where it's deep enough to get into.
Yeah.
I think, matter of fact, I think Trey has headed it up several years.
Mm-hmm.
I think he had boat number 1, and but people that local, but maybe 25 to 30 boats, which is not too bad.
Mm-hmm. But
From
people
big
decorate them
boats-
up with different
Yeah,
lights.
big
and
boats to little boats, pontoon boats to sailboats.
Christmas parade.
Yeah, they a lot of them they put on. They'll do costumes
Mhm.
on the boat.
I know West
the
Bay does
lights.
costumes every year.
Yeah, yeah. I think they win every
Mhm.
year too.
Well, I don't think they win every year, but they win a lot.
Won the last two, I believe. Yeah,
Well, and rightfully so, because they put in the most effort.
yeah. But it's been a really fun event, and it's
Yeah.
something people get involved in. It always kicks off at West Bay, with all the boats. Oops, sorry, get together and meet.
Mhm.
And it heads up to Lakeview.
Get their numbers and get their assignments.
Yeah, and because it takes a while to get everybody in line,
Mhm.
because it's not easy. You go from the big boats to the little boats. It's a
Anytime
bit
you
of
have
chore.
a large amount of people all trying to navigate at the same time and do the
Yeah.
same thing, it can turn into a real headache in a really quick sort of way.
Yeah, so it's always been a fun event, and then it ends at the lake house, and that's where we always do our award show.
Like ceremonies, like finalizing ceremonies.
Yeah,
and all
because
that.
as soon as we're done, we get all the voting sheets in from we get them from different locations around the lake, like the boat club and so forth.
Everybody who's watching has an opportunity
and
to
so
say,
we go through and calculate all the scores and find all the winners, and we hand out the awards right then and there.
right on. I've been to a few of the ceremonies, as well as every year I participate, but you don't know I'm there. I'm in a follow-up boat, and I go around and gather up all the stuff that people drop and lose. Like Robbie Wynn's kayak with a deflated Santa that he became detached from a couple years ago. That was one thing I went after.
Oh yeah,
Everybody dropped something. Something always happens they need a recovery boat for.
yeah. Well, his boat looked great this last year.
It sure did. You know why?
Hmm.
Because he wasn't towing a Santa on a kayak. Robbie, if you're listening, I'm sorry, but I'm not sorry. All right. So follow up here just after the commercial break. We're going to go over the event taking place on September 16th that everybody's going to be looking forward to once they find out about it. We'll be right back after these commercials to tell you all about it. Stay tuned.
Let's be honest. Wheelchairs are heavy, bulky, and ugly. If you carry a wheelchair in your car to take care of a loved one, you know how hard it is getting that clunky, old-style wheelchair in and out of your car. Introducing the Feather Chair Wheelchair. At 13 pounds, it's the world's lightest wheelchair. It folds in seconds and fits neatly in your trunk, backseat, or closet, so you can take it everywhere. And it's only available right here. Order yours today and get a free wheelchair case, a $50 value, yours free. The Feather Chair. The world's lightest wheelchair is just $4.99 with easy payments as low as $16 a month. Sorry, no Medicare or insurance accepted. So call right now to order yours.
800-823-5826. 800-823-5826. 800-823-5826. That's 800-823-5826.
Out of deck carpet giving you the blues? Tired of your old dingy and broken tile? Let my friends at the Floor Store in Cleburne, Texas give your home the makeover it deserves. This is Old Taco Joe coming to you for the Floor Store. Whether it's carpet, tile, wood flooring, or real wood laminate, the Floor Store can cover all of your flooring needs. Located at 405 West Henderson Street in Cleburne, Texas, owner Brent Harris can help. Shower tile, tub surrounds, even backsplashes. Give him a call today at 817-641-9444. The Floor Store, they got you covered. Out of deck carpet giving you the blues? Tired of your old dingy and broken tile? Let my friends at the Floor Store in Cleburne, Texas give your home the makeover it deserves. This is Old Taco Joe coming to you for the Floor Store. Whether it's carpet, tile, wood flooring, or real wood laminate, the Floor Store can cover all of your flooring needs. Located at 405 West Henderson Street in Cleburne, Texas, owner Brent Harris can help. Shower tile, tub surrounds, even backsplashes. Give him a call today at 817-641-9444. The Floor Store, they got you covered.
Joco Community Radio. Listen live at jococommunityradio.com.
Born to be wild.
JoCo Community Radio is proud to be the voice of Johnson County, Texas, and is live 24/7 on the TuneIn Radio Network. TuneInJoCo.com is a place to find all the ways to listen and watch, and the station app is also available for free on Android and Apple devices. Simply search your store. Check out our lineup and more at JoCoCommunityRadio.com. This episode and more brought to you by Next Level Claims, making your insurance work for you. Reach out to your Texas sales rep, Nana Reed, at 844-839-4245, and be sure to dress your arms and more at thetiffy.com. Hey, Cary, welcome back into the studio. All right, so September 16th, what do we have going on, sir?
Well, that is the proposed date for our first annual lake bottom cleanup.
Really?
Something that has been in a lot of discussion, but evidently I don't think anybody has ever done it before.
Well, I pick up trash every now and then when I'm out there on the bottom, but
Sure.
I'll be perfectly honest with you. If I spent all the time that I'm in Party Cove diving, picking up trash and debris and trying to clean it up as much as I'd like to, I'd never find anything I was hired to locate.
No.
There's so much trash and debris down there in Party Cove and Family Cove, and man, it's absolutely ridiculous. So I, for one, am happy, excited, and ecstatic to hear that there's going to be an effort undertaken on Eagle Mountain Lake to try and get some of that trash out.
Well, we thought, what can our organization do that's not being done by TRWD already?
Mm-hmm.
For years, the organization had many more things to do, but TRWD really honestly does a great job at the lake. But the lake bottom cleanup, that's not in their purview.
Right.
So we're like, well, this is something that we can do. I know that Lake Travis does it every year. They've been doing it for quite some time, and they have an enormous amount of volunteers, over 300 divers, and I believe over 500 on-land volunteers as well.
Mm-hmm.
Well, much bigger area than Eagle Mountain Lake, but we thought
Lake Travis is huge compared to Eagle Mountain Lake.
We thought this would be a good place to start. Focus on Party Cove, Old Ranch House Slough.
Mm-hmm.
I can imagine what it looks like at the bottom of that.
You don't want to. You don't want to.
Yeah. And if it hasn't been done, I mean, all these years, like I said, I started going to Party Cove there in 2009 was my first year.
Yeah.
It's been going on long before that.
Mm-hmm.
So if all these years, decades now, nobody's cleaned up the bottom, there's no telling what all's down there.
I can tell you about some of the things I've been lucky enough to find in Party Cove. There's countless types of jewelry, watches. Mm-hmm. There are still some missing wallets that I've been hired to locate that was not successful with. There's cell phones. There's boat parts. There's some sex toys. But there's cans of all ages. I'm telling you, there are old, Schlitz cans out there that have the old spot where you just pulled the tab off from the thing. It was all one piece.
I have an old iPhone 5 underneath there.
It had the little teardrop shaped hole in the can for you to drink out of. Find those all the time. A lot of blots. No Schlitz blots. Wow. There are even vintage bottles out there that some of them can be worth up to $300. Just old glass bottles.
Yeah.
And they're everywhere. They're freaking everywhere.
Well, I think there's probably so much there that I don't think probably just doing it the first year we can put a dent, maybe.
Oh yeah. We're not going to get the whole thing clean. There's just no way. And even then, even after we get all that cleaned up, using a metal detector will still be pointless because all we've done is clean the surface.
Well, because if you're out there floating, especially during the tie-up, and they finish their can of beer,
it's easier to just sink it.
They just sink it.
Yeah.
So there's got to be.
It's
thousands.
Everywhere. Oh yeah, I've probably found 1,000 cans for every ring I've found in Party Cove.
Yeah. Well, that's the idea. Is at least start there. We'll focus on some other areas as well.
What are some of the other areas that you'd like to focus on?
The island, but I don't know. You'd probably know better than I would. I don't know how much trash is around the island underwater.
There's not as much as you'd think.
Yeah.
There's a lot less in Party Cove.
Oh yeah, I would think so.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Kudos to the people who go out to the island and they pick up the trash and they help clean up the fire rings. And there are some just really shitty individuals that take all their trash there and leave it. That gets on my nerves so bad. But kudos and thank yous to the people who go out to the island, who make the effort, who bring that nasty crap on their boat and take it to shore and get it gone. Right. I cannot thank those people enough. I've done it. Some of my friends have done it. We've made it a group effort on a weekend before. But the same thing needs to be taking place underwater. So we need all the divers that can volunteer their time and their gear, perhaps tanks if they have them. We need all the boats that we can get to show up, to be ferries for the people that can make it there. We need maybe some boats that aren't in the greatest shape or repair to bring these bags full of nasty crap on and get them back to shore. You know, obviously you don't want to use a Crest or a Bennington for something like that.
Sure.
It's nice if they do, but let's avoid that. We need people to go through the stuff that we find. We need people to separate cans from phones, from wallets, from jewelry, from watches, from boat parts, from sex toys if we find them. We need people on deck. No pun intended. We need all hands on deck. Whoever has the ability to volunteer their time, whoever has the ability to volunteer their boat, their gas, their gear, their dive equipment, their tanks. We need help, don't we?
And it's going to be quite an undertaking.
Oh, yeah.
And we're doing it. We're a little behind time. I mean, it's coming up pretty quick.
Right.
We
got a kind of a late start, didn't we?
Yeah, we kind of did. But it happens. So now we're looking at it thinking, okay, well, we just have to get started. Even if it's just small the first year, we can keep building on that each year till we do hopefully get to the point where we can clean most of it up.
Michael Culpepper, good friend of mine, another diver from Lake Louisville, wants to know, is there going to be a sign-up area for the 16th of September cleanup dive, or show up at the rally point type of thing? Like, what's the method for getting involved? How do we do that?
Well, there will be a
he says he's into dive. He's definitely into dive.
Perfect. We will have that website up probably within the next probably next week.
Outstanding.
And you can get to it. You'll always be able to find it by going through seml.org.
Right. Or you can just ask me, because I expect to have a copy of the link I can send out when I need to.
Right.
I'm working on getting dive shops involved. I'm working on getting divers involved. The Bay Area divers from down by Houston wants to come up and be involved with this. One of my divers from Houston, Barbie, I'm going to try to get her on board. I'm just going to try to get everybody I can. Like I said, all hands on deck. It's general quarters. Everybody show up if you can.
Well, that's been one thing I didn't know about because I'm not a diver.
Right.
So the question is how many divers do you have, in central part of Texas?
I'm going for between 20 and 30.
Okay.
That's how many I'm trying to supply myself, if I can.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know how that's going to work out. I might only wind up providing 5 or 6, but I'm going to get everybody on board that I absolutely can to at least be in my wheelhouse with this. We'll take my boat out. Everybody can be on my boat. Bring your gear, bring your tanks, bring your dive tender, whatever you want. Bring what you can on my boat, and we'll get you to Party Cove. We'll make this a reality.
Well, the more people we get involved, the more resources that are available.
Absolutely.
Because everybody knows somebody else. Resources that we don't know about yet that can get involved. Like, maybe dive
Thank you, Michael.
Maybe a dive school, and maybe it's a good time for them to bring out, they're more experienced divers. I mean, it's a great opportunity for that.
DFW Scuba Shop wants to make a diver's day off out of it, a diver's day out of it.
That'd be great.
So they're going to try and, put it out to all their students, all their past students, all their instructors, dive masters, etc. Hey, come to Eagle Mountain Lake. We have an excuse to get in the water. That's all we really need.
Yeah.
So let's, keep in touch with this and try to.
Well, and we'll need a lot more than just divers.
Oh, yeah.
We need to take a lot
people to ferry people out to the dive spot. We need people with golf carts that can drive from the parking lot at the park down to the water line with people to help gather stuff from the water. We need
the logistics of moving that amount of trash is going to
crazy.
Yeah,
it's going to be crazy.
And that's what we're working out now, and getting that plan together, and then try and get the cooperation of TRWD and the local marinas.
West Bay, Lakeview,
absolutely,
Eagle Mountain Marina if we can.
We are definitely in talks with West Bay and Lakeview.
Have you spoken to anyone with Suntex?
Not yet.
Okay, Mark Perry or Linda would be a good go-to for either one.
Great.
for Suntex Marinas.
Yeah,
and I know Rodney's going to be involved too from Lakeview.
Okay, well, it's good for it's beneficial for all the marinas.
Absolutely, just to be involved with it.
Yeah, and even the local businesses around Eagle Mountain Lake. Anything that improves the lake conditions. And another reason to go out on the water.
That's right. All we need is an excuse, isn't it? Getting a little warm in here. So we're going to have distributors on hand that are going to be volunteering. What? Trash bags, PPE, cases of water. Tell us about who all we're targeting for donations in an event like this.
Well, it's hard to announce, target people that we haven't spoke to yet.
Oh, well, yeah. I'm just saying, give me some ideas of who we would want to talk to in order to further this idea.
Well, one of the ideas was to go to even the local Boy Scouts,
Mhm.
just because they can come out and help. I mean,
Yeah.
this is kind of their purview.
Get a merit badge
Yeah,
for it too.
Absolutely. So groups like that, any businesses that can provide, we're going to need lots and lots of water bottles.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah.
And we're going to need the trash bags. We're going to need the dumpsters. I mean, there's quite a bit involved. We're going to need the equipment to haul it up, even from the shoreline, to get it up to a truck or a dumpster.
Mm-hmm.
So it's quite a bit, and at this point we are so early on in the plane development that I don't have the answers to all that yet. But we are going forward with the idea because it's just something that needs to get done.
Fantastic. So tell me a little bit about, in the years following this one, what are some of the other areas on Eagle Mountain Lake that you would want to target for a cleanup effort? And on that note, what are some of the, because about Family Cove no longer being a viable place to hang out. Do you know of any other public areas on the lake, public lands that we could turn into a new Family Cove that we would, be able to take the kids and tie up and get on land without having the police called or trespassing violations, things like that?
And not my really expertise. I would suppose the island.
Stick with the island.
Yeah,
That's pretty much what they've been doing now.
yeah. I mean, I think you can still go to Family Cove if you just stay off the land.
Stay off the land. They ask you not to anchor within 150 feet of shoreline.
Yeah.
Well, out there at 150 feet, it's
public lake.
too deep to be
It is.
to be hanging out and
Yeah.
having fun the way they used to at Party
But
Cove,
that's
at
also a
Family
good
Cove.
area that we need to focus on, at least getting cleaned up.
Definitely,
From the time
definitely.
It has been there. And then around the marinas,
Mm-hmm.
because anytime you wherever people congregate is where we need to go clean up.
That's right, because anywhere people congregate, we will be.
Yeah.
What do they say in the Matrix? Humans are a virus. They move to an area and they until every natural resource is consumed, and then they move to another area. So yeah, everywhere where you congregate, gather, party, hang out.
And whether they do it on purpose, I mean, I've seen the people that just throw crap in the water, think, well, it's not my problem.
Right, exactly. But it's all of our problem, isn't it?
Yes, it is. And the thing is, I don't think that's a majority. I think the majority of people just accidentally lose stuff in there.
I would agree with that. I don't think it's a majority of people that throw their trash in the lake.
No.
The money that we pay for fishing licenses and things of that nature all goes towards conservation and taking care of the area. And we all know that.
Right.
So I think, I don't really think it's the people who get out there and try to enjoy it by law who are the ones who are, chucking their trash on the ground. I think it's everyone else.
Yeah, it's always a small group that
Mhm.
makes
It tries to ruin it for everyone else.
Everybody else, yeah.
But I tell you, there are all kinds of stuff in that lake that I cannot wait to help remove.
Yeah, you showed me some that I would have never, I would have not in my wildest dreams imagined.
Oh yeah, there's all kinds of weird stuff down
Yeah,
there.
it's pretty weird.
I found some 50-gallon drums that seemed to be full of concrete, and then I mentioned it to somebody one night at Augie's, and I had to dive the same area a couple days later. Gone, 50-gallon drums gone. Weirdest thing.
Wouldn't want to know.
Oh, you sure don't. Augie's, man. If I could show you the underside of Augie's dock, it'll blow your mind.
Gosh, I ain't thought about that. Yeah, I can imagine.
There's some cinder blocks down there that I've never seen before. Like they're designs that have to be so damned old that I've just never seen them before.
Mm-hmm.
But they're really unique looking. There's all kinds of chairs, and there's apparently at one time that dock collapsed and they just built another one right on top of it.
Just left everything else in the bottom.
Yeah, it's all still down there. Because here's the thing: if you haul that crap up, now you got to get rid of it.
How deep is it right there?
Oh, it's not any more than 15 feet when the lake's all the way up.
Yeah.
Underneath that bait house there. But the same thing happened over at Eagle Mountain Marina when that tornado came through. If you haul all that debris up, now you have to haul it down the dock, get it in a truck, take it somewhere, find somebody that'll take it, get rid of it, and come back, and then do it again.
Right.
The area just beyond the boat ramp, north of the boat ramp from Eagle Mountain Marina, is one of the sketchiest diving locations on that entire lake, simply due to the twisted, sharp edges that are down there, the twisted metal, the old dock pieces you can get tangled up on. There's ropes everywhere that are hanging off. There's fishing line everywhere that's hanging off. I mean, it's just
At Eagle Mountain.
At Eagle Mountain Marina, just off the
Yeah.
ramp behind the first dock.
Yeah.
It is just it's a jungle of debris and junk. Trying to dive through it is the sketch, and it's only maybe 6-7 feet deep if you do get tangled up, but it's still bad enough to be a nerve-wracking experience because you can't see any of it.
Didn't they clean a lot of that up?
They did clean an incredible
moved?
amount of it up,
Yeah.
but there's still an incredible amount left.
Okay.
So the next Party Cove tie-up, the next Eagle Mountain Lake cleanup effort that we do, I'd
Mhm.
like to have not a say necessarily, but I'd like to give advice on areas that could be beneficial to get some of that crap out of the lake.
Well, that sounds great. Of course, like I said, every year as we learn what resources we have available to us, we can continue to expand it from year to year.
Right on. That sounds like a solid idea.
Well, that's great. I mean, we do the same thing with our golf tournament. We do.
Tell us about your golf tournament.
That's something that I think just last year it was early May. Next year should be sometime in April. Date's not set yet, but this will be, I think, our 4th year that we've done the SEML Charity Golf Tournament, which happens out at the resort.
Right on.
And every single year from the very first one that we've done in the modern age, the organization did it years and years ago, as well, before my time. But we've done it. This will be their 4th year coming up, and we're packed every year. It's completely sold out.
I
It's
have
a good event.
played golf before, but I have never enjoyed it. So I was thinking next year when you do the charity golf tournament, I want to get involved, but
What's a scramble?
I'm going to approach it from the perspective of having never played before. I've played one time and it sucked because
All you need on your team
it
is
was
one
the
good
dead of
player.
summer.
If you got one good player, you're good.
Justin Heath, if you're listening, you're on my team next year if you're going to be a part of it. Michael Culpepper says that he found a stripper pole off a yacht in Louisville last week, but he had to leave it behind. But yeah, see, that's exactly what I'm saying. The stuff that we find, if we spent all of our time and all of our efforts underwater to try and bring that crap up, we would never find the stuff that we were hired to locate because our time is valuable underwater because it's on a limited supply. So, we find a lot of cool stuff, but we wind up usually having
a lot of this stuff. Now, I'm sure there's probably some hazardous items down there that don't belong in the lake or
generators.
It's not
boat engines.
It's not doing the lake any favors.
Right.
But those are things that we need to get removed. The rest of it's
car
not
batteries,
really hurting
tires.
that much, other than it reduces the volume of the water in the lake. So it's just stuff that is trash and it needs to be taken out.
Right.
And it's going to be a long endeavor.
Huge endeavor is what it's going to be.
It's going to take years
to get it done.
Yeah. So hopefully this is a step in the right direction, that we can get it done this first year, that every year more and more people will get
becomes
involved.
more and more involved. We'll have more divers showing up. We'll have more businesses donating the things that we need to make this happen. We'll have more people showing up on their boats. Eventually this is going to look like the Party Cove tie-up.
Yeah.
But it's going to be the cleanup effort. And people are going to go by and say, oh, they're doing another tie-up. No. That's a Save Eagle Mountain Lake Foundation doing their part to keep this lake clean for all of us.
It's always my question because, come tie-up, because I know we get a lot of people that come in.
Do you know when the tie-up is?
Yeah, it's always the 3rd Saturday in August.
I was hoping to get a bullshit answer like we do on the Party Cove page, but it didn't work out. That's okay.
No.
What's the food boat number?
What?
Food boat number?
Food boat? I don't know.
What's the best ramp to launch from? What's Party Cove temperature? What's the depth in Party Cove?
Oh, yeah.
That's the bullshit.
Everybody's asking.
I love that.
Yeah.
That's my favorite thing in the world.
Of course, the thing is, they're brave to even ask.
Absolutely, they are. There's always one person every year that starts it off, and they're usually a new person that just bought their first boat.
Yeah.
They've heard about it, but they don't know anything about it. So they get on the Party Cove, and they're perfectly innocent with it too. Hi, I'm new here. Does anybody know when the big tie-up is? Oh yeah, we know, but none of us are gonna tell you. It was canceled. It's moved to Lake Worth. Too many alligators. Yeah. Oh yeah. Love that stuff.
Yeah.
That's how I know summer's finally arrived. Is when somebody makes the mistake of asking when
Yeah,
the
you
party
gotta have
cove tie-up
thick
is.
skin to be on the.
That's
party
how we
cove
weed
side.
them out.
Yeah.
That's how we know who's who and who's meant to be there and who's not.
Well, like I said,
If they get offended by the bullshit questions, and
they don't belong out there.
yeah, they won't show up. They'll be gone.
That's another question. Come the tie up, there's a massive amount of people out there.
Oh,
And
yeah.
I know they come from other lakes as well, but I'm always thinking like when we do these events, we need volunteers. I'm like, where are those people?
They're already in Party Cove party and getting drunk. Nobody wants to be voluntold to do anything.
Well, we don't do a whole lot during the summer.
Who, the Save Eagle Mountain Lake
Yeah,
Foundation?
our
Why not?
organization, well, because everybody's enjoying the summer. That's the time to be on the lake enjoying it.
That's
So-
the time to be putting the word out about the things you want to get done in the fall,
Well, we
spring,
do.
and winter.
I mean, we do.
Right
we always
on.
keep that kind of information going out. Even for like our golf tournament and our parade of lights and things. I mean, we put out social media. We do videos.
Mhm.
We do videos of each event every single time. We'll do the same for the cleanup.
Here's something I'd like to put into motion. Here's an idea that I've had for the last couple of years that I'd like to see come to fruition. And I've only spoken to one person about it, but I definitely think that it's something that needs to happen. There is a wealth of common knowledge on Eagle Mountain Lake about, okay, so for instance, somebody moves here from Oklahoma, never been here before. There's a wonderful community here on Eagle Mountain Lake. We all help each other out, right?
Yeah.
This person comes in and says, okay, so I need to know what I need to know about this lake. Well, the Save Eagle Mountain Lake Foundation has a brochure for you. We have a list of the restaurants on the lake. We have their wintertime, summertime hours. We have a website for each one that details who's playing, what they're doing that night, every night of the week. We have in this brochure is what marinas are available on the lake: West Bay, Lakeview, Eagle Mountain Marina, Lake Country, etc. Here's where you can find them. Here's their addresses. Here's their phone numbers. This is where Party Cove is on a map. This is where the island is on a map. We need to put together some sort of a syllabus that we can pass out to people that come to Party Cove that are new and have never been here before. Even just a link, a website.
But that might be something that we could do with the organization, because the one thing that is different with Save Eagle Mountain Lake to many of the publications or some of the other businesses that have been around the lake is that we're constant. We're here.
Yeah, all the time.
There's been Eagle Mountain Magazine. There's
Eagle
been,
Mountain Lake Radio.
Yeah, there's been all kinds of different publications and things that have come in, and that was published.
Mm-hmm.
But then they're gone.
Yeah, they don't last long.
Yeah,
People lose interest.
Yeah, and we have talked about putting out a publication. Right now, we're still working on our newsletter, but that's something that we might be able to undertake.
Right on. We could do a website that's just a new residents information gathering page where you have different links to different things on the lake that you need to know about. Boating regulations, how to keep off the radar of the police on the area. Where can you go eat? Who has a gas station? Who has a pump out for the head? Who has what? There's Danny D's barbecue, the food boat. You've got all the information that somebody could go to Party Cove page and search and catch hell for, or you can go to the Save Eagle Mountain Lake Foundation, to the new residents gathering page, and get it all at once.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense.
Mm-hmm. Or even something that we could just leave flyers around at gas stations around the lake. Mm-hmm. Hey, if you're new to Eagle Mountain Lake, or even if you're not, take one of these. There might be something in it you need to know. Who's the diver on the lake? Who is the contact for various events on the lake? Trey Bull, etc. All this pertinent information that all of us need at some point could be in one place.
Or we could just put Trey Bull's phone number out to everybody and
just let them deal with
one source to get all their questions answered.
I think that's a fine idea. In fact, when I get home tonight, I'm going to take a screenshot of his phone number and I'm going to post it in the Party Cove page and just say, hey, you have any questions about Party Cove or what's going on here? Call this man.
He'll know.
Yeah, he'll get you.
Know who knows.
He'll get you lined out. What do you think about that, Trey? If you're still listening, let me know what you think. Well, it's been a wonderful show. I'm glad you came in. I'm glad you were able to take the time to come out here and talk about the Save Eagle Mountain Lake Foundation. I'm glad you were able to, put your mission forth and let people know that you're there. because a lot of people don't even know you exist.
No.
I didn't know you existed until I did the Parade of Lights the first year.
Yeah.
And that was when I first met Don.
And the organization's been around longer than most of us.
Yeah, longer than I've been alive.
1985.
1983 was when I was established.
So yeah, it's been here for quite some time. It may have been in hiatus for a while, trying to figure out what to do next. But our mission now is clear, and we're doing everything we can to make Eagle Mountain Lake a better place.
Your mission is clear, and your mission is to make the lake the same way, right?
Yeah.
One day, maybe one day.
Not that many clear Texas lakes, are there?
There's more than you would think. Granbury, Possum Kingdom, and Whitney are 3 right off the top of my head.
Well, I'm going to have to learn what the difference is that they do there to make them so clear.
Well, they're on the Brazos River Basin.
No, makes sense.
Canyon Lake, though, is by far my favorite, along with Spring Lake and San Marcos.
Pretty areas.
Absolutely beautiful areas. One day, maybe we can get Eagle Mountain Lake to be the sort of place where you can see your feet when you're in Party
that would be
Cove.
great.
It'd be great, wouldn't it?
That would be fantastic.
All right, Cary, thanks for being in the studio tonight. Thanks for being on the show, and
Great. Thanks for having
can't
me.
wait to have you again. Bye-bye. Tune in next week for another episode of Texas Wild with Ryan Prigmore.
From Burleson to Venus and Grandview to Godley, this is the voice of Johnson County, Joco Community Radio.
If you're trying to quit drinking or doing too many drugs, listen to me. You don't know me and we'll never meet. I had a problem like you once. I drank and used to party a little too much till it got out of control and almost ruined my life. I realized I needed help to fix my problem before it totally destroyed me. If you've tried to fix your drinking and drug problem and you know you can't do it alone, you need to call the National Treatment Advisors. They'll immerse you into a 30-day program to replace your old habits with new habits and totally change your life. And if you have PPO private health insurance, the entire program may be covered. Fix your problem right now before it gets any worse. Get clean. Call now and learn more. 877-247-1581.